So we're doing the driver's side, that's the right hand side rear today. Okay, so this is the arm we're replacing. Now this one is where you adjust the angle of the wheel, so this will need to be put back in exactly the same place, and then an alignment will have to be done afterwards. And that's the other end of the arm. Now I did read on the internet that it's possible that this may foul the bodywork, taking it out. Some people have dropped the subframe a little bit, so I'm a bit concerned about that. Hopefully it will come out enough to get it out, but I'm just going to have to see. So I'm going to have to loosen this off and then tap it through, and hopefully that will be enough to get the arm off. And then I'm going to have to take the front bolt out as well. So yeah, it all looks a bit dirty and rusty there, so I'm going to get the penetrating fluid on that, I think, first. Now it's a 19mm spanner here, and also for the other side. So it's just because this is in the way and there's very little space, but you can just about use a spanner on here to undo it. That's it loosened there. So put the nut somewhere safe, and then make a visual note of how that's positioned, because that's how it's going to have to go back once it's on for the correct alignment. So now what you need to do is tap it from this side so it goes through as much as possible, so you can get this out. Okay, so that's the front bolt out, but as you can see it is fouling, so you can't get this out. It's fouling the body. So I think what I'm going to do is I've unbolted the subframe here, as you can see, and I'm hoping that I can have just enough movement there just to pull that out. So let's try that. Okay, it's out. Let me show you how I did that, because otherwise it's not going to come out, and I'm actually going to put it in the opposite way for future use. Now what I did, I unbolted or undid this 19mm nut there. I undid that just enough. Doesn't have to be completely off, but just a little bit. And then what I did, I removed these two plastic rivets here, just so I can fold the trim back. And what I've done, I've got this lever bar here between the subframe mounting and the body. And I've literally just levered it, and that lifts it up just enough. We're talking millimeters here, just to wiggle that nut through. That bolt just wiggles out of there. Try and keep it so the smallest area is at the top, so then it can sort of just pull it out. You basically got to pull on the arm and stuff. Anyway, so the arm is now loose, as you can see, so I can replace it. So you need to just unclip this wire from the arm, and then you can take it out the car. So inspecting the old arm, you can see how bad the bush was there and here. It's actually, that's the movement there, so that was causing the problem. As you can see, it's the original part from Tesla that's still on there. So if anybody needs the part number, that's what it is. So yeah, the inside wasn't too bad, but the outside, lots of play. This is the new part I'm fitting. It's Feb by Bilstein. That's the part number if you need it. It's slightly different, as in it's lighter for a start, but it hasn't got the holes in it. But otherwise it's identical. I'm probably going to have to cable tie the little clip thing on, because obviously that's not going to clip on there like it did on here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put the arm in, and then I'm going to put the, if I do it, it's difficult to do it whilst I'm holding the arm. I'm basically going to put the bolt through this way. So there you go, that's how I've done it. So I've got to remember how we had the bolt last time, and it will be the opposite, because last time it was like that, so it needs to go in the sort of opposite way. Because I marked that before here at the top, what I've basically done is mark the other side now with the new marking, and that will go in exactly the same position, and that will allow me to move it, because you can't really see it once it's in there, into the correct position. Obviously the washer side needs to be opposite, so it's no longer that way, it's this way, so it needs to be facing in the same way as it was originally on the car, if that makes sense. So it needs to map across there. So as you can see, that's pretty much, it doesn't have to be perfect because there will be a wheel alignment done, but it's just enough to, you know, drive around a bit before you get the wheels aligned. Right, so that's the bolt in position, and I've got the original nuts here that will go straight on. So I'm going to just offer that on now. I'm not going to tighten it yet because I need to put the other one on first. And then once that's finger tight, you need to move this into position and put the bolt, nut and bolt, back through exactly the same way as it came out, just through there, and then the nut on the end. And what I'm finding is the way to do it is have a spanner, put it on finger tight so it's on, and then put a spanner on it and hold the spanner, and then use a wrench on the actual bolt itself to tighten it up. And as expected, there's no way to sort of clip this on, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to clip it on like that and then put a cable tie around the whole arm, I think. So what I do to before I tighten it with the torque wrench is I'll jack it up a little bit more, and then put an axle stand underneath the suspension, and then lower the jack a little bit so the suspension rides up to roughly ride height, and then we can tighten these to the recommended torque. Okay, so that's the new arm on, and that's torqued to spec, 150 Newton meters on the outside and 85 on the inside. Don't forget to tighten the subframe bolt as well, yeah, and reattach the trim. Well, I've just done the other side, the passenger side, so that's the near side, and it's exactly the same. Still got to do the undo the subframe bolt and just leave a little bit to get the bolt out. It's not too difficult, just as you're levering, just wiggle the end of the bolt and it should just about come out.